President David, members of the Braemar Royal Highland Society, ladies and gentlemen. It's indeed a great honour to propose a toast today as we gather to start the celebrations for the bicentenary of this very special society. Your hiring agent, Ian Johnston, has given me 1 minute for every 20 years of your society. A contract is a contract, so I must hurry on. First of all, I would like to acknowledge John Duff's well-researched and beautifully written paper entitled 20 Long Decades. With its fascinating glimpse of the Society's early years, it is great detail and is enhanced by John's shrewd and inimitable copy observations. Also well done to Craig Nisbet for producing this special commemorative bicentenary book and for perpetuating the Book of the Gathering, first produced in 1924. Today, as we celebrate the bicentenary of this venerable society, it is also a joy that it should coincide with a member's birthday. A chemist whose medicinal pick-me-ups were pivotal to overindulgent members. Happy birthday, David Torrance. There is also sadness with the recent death of the Society's vice patron, the Duke of Fife. The Braemar Rights Society, formed in 1815 with little fuss by 46 members, has spawned 200 years of history, tradition, an amazing resilient community spirit, a world-renowned Highland gathering, and today is 120 ordinary members, 60 honorary members, 60 benefiting pensioners, and 15 honoured life members. It is quite remarkable that it has survived the lingering suspicions of the Jacobite rebellion, farming disasters, 2 world wars causing huge social, political and demographic changes. Many other such friendly societies in the Highland Games have been launched with great euphoria, but withered and disappeared. Why has the Braemar Royal Highland Society been so successful? It has survived, first of all, by the choice and remarkable calibre of its office bearers and committees over the 200 years, with only 19 presidents in its lifespan. A plaque with the names of the Society presidents is to be erected on Games Day, but let's not forget the real movers and shakers, the secretaries, and particularly Willie Meston. These have all been practical people with an abundance of common sense, hustled to their community, but with a wider vision. A vision that established a friendly society in 1817, now the oldest established in the country. This gives it a far broader base and deeper ethic than just running the annual Highland gathering. Friendly is an apposite word for Braemar, and here we must acknowledge our good friend, the Lonnoch Friendly Society, the second oldest in the country. The Society jealously guards its democracy and has a relationship with local landlords that is courteous, reasonable, cooperative, but not feudal. Its 6 generations of royal support has also been pivotal. It has cherished and handled its royal patronage since it was added to the Society in 1866 with great pride and unerring diplomacy. It has acted with outstanding maturity and decorum at times of great sadness within the royal family. The royal link is a huge marketing bonus, but has never been abused. The Society has embraced and welcomed incomers to Braemar and made them feel part of the special tradition and readily recognised and rewarded ability within the Society. We must also acknowledge the great support of the ladies of the community. Many, although not office bearers or members, did and do most of the paperwork for their husbands. It is interesting in 1816 that widows would get a pension of £2, but only if of good behaviour and not remarried. The definition of good behaviour and the proof otherwise would have been interesting. We're delighted that you've now voted to admit lady members, and we're delighted that Margaret Jolly is a director of the Society. I'm not saying that the Society is grippy, but a thriftiness with finances from an early stage ensured its longevity. In 1870, it bought a metal box with 3 locks to keep cash and important papers. 3 separate key keepers were needed to open the box. There was safety in numbers. One present anomaly is that the secretary today can sign cheques, but is rightly not trusted with a key. The controversial 19th century cotton laws brought volatility to the oatmeal market, and the society, entrepreneurial from the start, dealt in meal from 1819 to 1847, storing it in gurnals, some 12 tons of oatmeal. This would be music to the ears of our honoured life member, Henry Gray, the world's greatest consumer of oatmeal. It is remarkable that Queen Victoria and Albert's first visit to Balmoral on the 8th of September 1848 inspired on our journey from Aberdeen 23 garlanded arches, a tradition that was to be continued in 1861 on our secret B&B with Albert in the Ramsay Arms at Fettercairn. However, our memorial arch, built in 1864, was cast in stone and has been a drain on our resources ever since, causing a local wag to pen the immortal words: "If Albert had only cooled his passion and travelled a bit further that day, this money-draining roadway headache could have belonged to Auchenblade." Whilst the society has shown a great work ethic and remarkable vigilance and vision in its workings, it has rightly never neglected the equal important social and celebratory style. However, the Braemar scribes had the good sense to understate the society's celebrations. An awesome piss-up became ample jollifications, and punch-ups are completely understated as "not the least misunderstanding happened, always joy and happiness." The greatest evidence of celebration was in 1926, the Duff Highlanders lunch. 70 lunches, 57 bottles of whisky, 72 bottles of beer, and 330 sandwiches. The treasurer at the time inquired, why the hell did they need so many sandwiches? The Braemar Highlanders, Mar and Burcall and Balmoral, were formed in the 30s. It is unclear if their prodigious thirst led to their demise. I recall your annual dinner when the legendary Lonach, Gibbie McIntosh, and his dear wife Ethel attended. Gibbie and Ethel, the new age travellers of the Highland game scene, had a caravan parked outside the Five Arms. Colin McIntosh and I were invited out for a dram at the end of the night. About 3 in the morning, Colin stood up and said, "I'm going to pull rank and take the whisky home for a dram before bed." We shook hands and he departed. I turned to Gibbie and I said, "This sadly finishes our session." Gibbie replied, "Dinna worry, Jim, Colin's awa' with the water." A few of us here today have been greatly honoured with life membership, and it is in this capacity that I thank the Society for its support and talismanic leadership of all Highland Games at home and abroad. The finest athletes, dancers, pipers, and thousands of overseas visitors have had their careers and lives fulfilled and brightened by participating at the Braemar gathering. There is no greater theatre in the world than the arrival of the royal party, the mass pipe bands, Robbie Shepherd and Robert Lovey, and the backdrop of the Cairngorms, a spectacle that was acknowledged and celebrated at the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow in 2014. The gathering has been held at Mar Castle, Clooney Park, Mar Lodge, Invercold House, Balmoral 5 times, and finally in 1906 at the present park, now called the Princess Royal and Duke of Fife Memorial Park. We are thankful that it has found a permanent venue, because it is difficult enough getting home without a further logistical problem. In 1952, the attendance was 31,099. The gathering was, of course, cancelled during the 2 World Wars, and there have been 13 other cancellations. In 1953, the Society made a huge leap into the modern world. It threw away its sickles and scythes, opened the 3 locks of the treasure chest, and bought a motor mower for 176 pounds. Well, we can look back on past achievements, but the Society's survival has always come from being forward-thinking and adapting to change. Changes that will come from inevitable new local government legislation, the work required for its ambitious new World Highland Games Centre, the spin-off from the spectacular investment and plans for the Five Arms Hotel, the new political mood in Scotland, the changing dynamic of the royal family, the volatility of the oil industry, and there will be many other unknowns. A society founded by 46 joiners, shoemakers, farmers, shepherds, gamekeepers, sawmillers, and today managed and steered by office bearers of similar background, but augmented by new professions too. For William Faherson, John Robertson, John Faherson, William Robertson, Patrick Gordon in 1815, read today David Geddes, Peter Fraser, William Meston, and David Hanson. Ordinary people doing extraordinary things. There's a special magic and enthralling feeling about Braemar and the Society, a feeling made up of caring personalities, a very tangible community spirit, its special place in Scotland's history, and its snug, safe setting in this timeless, rugged landscape. It was this memory that dominated the thoughts of the late Colin Mackintosh, president of the Society as a very young man, in the Second World War and the Arctic convoys, described by Churchill as the worst journeys in the world. His poem, The Blue Cairngorms, written during these hellish, endless sea journeys, sums up the attraction of this special area. The Blue Cairngorms by Colin Mackintosh. The blue Cairngorms are forever in my dreams, with their corries and tarns and turbulent streams. I dream of you oft as I travel afar, mountains of majesty, guardians of Mar. I see you in spring with your buns and spade. I hark as the ptarmigan calls to its mate. The red deer are feeding in the foothills below, and the young heather shoots newly freed from the snow. I see you in autumn in all your gay splendour, a sight that the writer will ever remember. 'Tis a season in which many strangers appear to conquer your peaks and corries each year. I see you in winter neath a blanket of snow, with your ice-covered burns and lochans below. Lifeless except for the ptarmigan and hare, as cold as the Arctic, so travellers beware. Your fame has been mentioned in verse and in story, and the writer here cannot add much to your glory. But he longs for a sight on a clear summer morn of these mountains of grandeur, the Blue Cairngorms. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we thank the Bicentenary Committee for this gathering today and wish them every success with a very full programme of celebration. Let us give thanks for the foresight of the founders, the 200 years of stewardship and vision of its members, and let us now be upstanding and raise a toast to the future continued success of the Braemar Royal Highland Society. The Braemar Royal